Alright, this episode of TRex Travels is actually a little bit late. I will be talking about Gwinnett Brawl and the things that went on there. The first thing that happened there that got a lot of people really upset was there was a little bit of a seating issue. Lord Mix, who was formerly on the Georgia Power Ranking, had to play Fatality in Fatality's first round, knocking Fatality into losers. So yeah, it's a very unfortunate thing for anybody actually, because one, your fatality, you're not used to being losers that early. So he just went on a tear. I think he finished in third place. Anyway, but I mean, good seeding is super relevant. For those of you who aren't aware, it's just like basketball seeding. You don't want the two best players to play in the first round, because one, I mean, that just makes for like really poor viewership. But I mean, it's unfair for a lot of the other players too, having to play somebody that good, like for their tournament life this early in the bracket. It's a little bit different when it's seeded properly. Well, one of the other things though, in a tournament this large, Gwinnett Brawl was a 100-person local that started at 7 o'clock, which we'll get into that in a minute. But in a tournament that large, bad seeding will still kind of like fix itself a little bit. It's unfortunate for a lot of people, and you can get some pretty skewed results, depending on like how big the tournament is. Like in a smaller tournament, if there's say like Scat, Fatality, Lord Mix, and like Xanos all on one side of the bracket, and then you have me, Scrub 1, 2, and 3 on this side, and I'm going to beat all those scrubs, so I'm going to be in winners finals, but this side of the bracket's going to be fucking, like, excuse me, we esports. Anyway, this side of the bracket's going to be stupidly hard, so I'm going to place better than these three people just because I made it into winners finals, beating all these scrubs, and that's an unfair thing. A lot of people, it's like, well, you still earned it because you beat all those other people, but there are so many people that are better than me in this tournament, I shouldn't be outplacing them in that kind of scenario. Uh, the second thing I wanted to talk about with Gwinnett Brawl was it was a 100-person locals, and we started super late. It was supposed to start at 6. I think we didn't end up starting till like 7. Shout outs to the Gwinnett Brawl guys. They're doing a real good job growing the Smash scene up there. That is, I think, the largest Smash 4 local that we've ever had. But one, they need more staff. Darius was doing as well of a job as he could, but he was having a little bit of trouble running it all by himself. So if you're going to start a tournament, one, you can start on time. But let's be honest, this is Smash Brothers, so we're never going to start on time. So start a little bit earlier, especially if you're expecting a large turnout. I know a lot of times when I show up to a tournament, there's it sounds really I'm not sure if it's me or if it's just a luck thing, but every time I show up to a tournament, it is consistently the largest tournament that venue has had. So I'm not going to say it's me, but it's me. But that's a thing for another day. But there was 100 people in that tournament, and we ran from I think 7 o'clock to midnight. Running a 100-person tournament that fast is actually pretty good. But that's it for this episode of T-Rex Travels. I'll be back in like 5 minutes with the Halcyon episode.